is shown, Fergie, but I don't see the rest of the crew. Is the learned counselor with us today?
Did I freeze? Do I need to go out and go back in?
You are frozen, but we can hear you, so it'll probably.
You think
and you have your mouth open. It's just it's quite a sight.
Which is fairly common.
Madam Chair, it's 5:59.
It is. You're gonna do a countdown?
Yeah, you guys don't have a quorum yet, so you couldn't start if you wanted to.
I don't see.
We do have a quorum?
We do not.
We do not.
But I do see our new member, Commissioner Young. Can you hear us? Just checking your audio equipment and everything.
Yes, I can.
Okay, great. Thank you for coming.
So does that give us quorum?
I believe so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We do have a quorum. And then, as I mentioned, Commissioner Dreer won't be here. And who else are we missing? Oh, Commissioner Michelle. So it's up to you if you want to get started or if you want to wait just a few minutes.
Do you really think that my picture will unmute or will stop looking so stupid?
Virginia, let's try it before we get started.
What, should I go out and go back in?
Well, turn your video on. Let's see what happens.
It's on. It's
Nope.
on.
Perhaps you might go out and come back in.
Yeah, I think you should try. I think for the commissioners, it's sort of important for us to be on video.
Okay.
Yep. Go ahead and go out and come back in and we'll wait. Stephen, are we ready with City 7 when we get Virginia back on? Okay. We'll give Virginia a chance to get back on and then we'll open. So there's nobody for me to swear in, right?
I don't see anybody at this time.
Yeah, I don't see anybody.
Yeah, our first case has an applicant.
Okay. So I do need to swear in. Commissioner Michelle popped in, and now we'll just wait for Virginia.
Is that one Ashley Smith and Steve McBee? So I would hope one of them would be on here in a couple minutes. Ashley was the applicant, and of course McBee is the owner.
Our learned Commissioner Michelle is with us, Madam Chair.
Yep, I saw him pop in.
Did I misroll?
Nope. We're holding in holding pattern for a minute while Virginia figures out some difficulties. She froze and she didn't like her picture.
So
well, should we go ahead and get started? And Or do we need to wait for her? Brian, what do you think?
Well, let's see. Trying to figure out how to see everybody.
I know. I think that's the problem. I can't see everybody.
And
There is a quorum without Virginia.
Okay.
So you guys could go ahead. And then if we don't have the applicant for the first one, if you wanted to take the cases out of order, we could do that as well.
Okay. You know, I love a challenge.
Just keep us on track and we'll, finish. Maybe we will hit that 45-minute mark.
Yeah. Oh, sure. Me keep everybody on track. Frightening. Okay. So I will call this Planning Commission meeting to order at 6:04 p.m. Good evening, and on behalf of the City of Independence, welcome to this virtual Planning Commission meeting for July 13th. For the convenience of those participating in tonight's meeting, I would like to remind all in attendance, both commissioners and the public, to please mute yourself when you are not speaking to prevent distraction and unwanted disruption. Staff will be enforcing this and monitoring those in attendance. For questions during the public hearings, during the public hearing portion of the meeting, staff will call on those who have requested to speak in the order that they signed up. Following that, anyone else who wishes to speak will be recognized. For those who wish to speak tonight, please remember to address all comments and questions to the chair and keep your comments brief and on point. If you agree with the previous comment, simply indicate your agreement. So, do we have anybody to swear in yet or no? I don't see anybody. So I will take this moment to welcome Bryce Young, Commissioner Young. Welcome to the commission. It's your first meeting, and we just thought we'd do a scramble kind of a meeting for your first one.
Yeah, no, this is good. I'm very excited for the opportunity, and I appreciate definitely being here and the opportunity. So thank you.
Well, we're glad you're here. We're a fun group, we think. So
And
welcome.
I say all that to say, for my first meeting, I am going to have to leave early. I have our oldest kid's birthday dinner to attend to soon. So if I have to jump off, then I'm sorry I don't get to stay for the whole party.
Well, congratulations and happy birthday. And we'll forgive you. That's an important one. Okay. Is the applicant on for the car wash?
it doesn't appear we've had any, we still have the same 12 we had 5 minutes ago. So,
Okay. Well, let's kill a little more time and do roll call.
okay. Commissioner Dreher is not here, right?
Right.
Okay, Commissioner Ferguson? Did she get back on?
She did not. I don't see her.
Okay. Commissioner Wiley?
Here.
Commissioner Michelle is not here, correct?
I'm here.
Oh, you're here? Okay. Commissioner Young?
Here.
Commissioner Preston?
Here.
And Chairman McLean?
Here. All right. I don't think anything has changed. So let's go ahead and will it be too much work for you to switch to
Nope, I can.
we'll just go backwards.
There we go.
Okay. So our first case will be case number 21-100-09, Canterbury Place duplexes, the applicant, City of Independence. Will you give a report, please?
Sure. As you can see, this is our vicinity map here for Canterbury Place. It's basically the 4 existing duplexes that are behind the CVS. They're at 39th and South Nolan Road. As you can see, it's zone C1, while the rest of the neighborhood is, of course, either R12 or R6. The owner of 3806/3808 and 3810/3812 of South Canterbury Place, Marcia Rubens, was marketing her properties to a buyer and who gave us a call to verify the lot zoning, and we informed them of their legal non-conforming status, and given the existing 2-family residential structure located on the property are zone C1 neighborhood commercial. Concerned about being able to rebuild on the properties in case of a catastrophic loss of the structures, the buyer requested to have them rezoned. The owner also owns the 2 additional properties to the north, 3816 and 3818 and 3820 and 3822. So they need to be collectively rezoned as well. Therefore, the city as applicant is requesting that all 4 properties be rezoned at the same time to eliminate this zoning anomaly. So as you can see, the comprehensive plan does include this as commercial. The reason why it was zoned, so deep like that was by having commercial going all the way to the next street. It was thought it would, make more room for a potential future box store or something. Of course, with the development of CVS there on the side of that old car wash that used to be on the corner, and having that an existing strip center to the north as well, it's unlikely that any commercial developer is going to be pushing toward Canterbury. And if these are going to continue to exist as rental units, it was in the interest of everyone to see that it was downzoned back to 2-family residential. So you can see the 4 duplexes here. The property to the right, although zoned residential, or not to the right, to the north, although zoned R6, is actually a parking lot. So it's just a existing paved area and some green space along Canterbury. There are duplexes here at the corner, actually 3 of them, and they're already zoned R12, so it would be consistent with the zoning across the street, having these zone 2 R12. So here we are at the very northern one. This is in the foreground is the green space that's between Canterbury and the parking lot. And you can see the other 3 in line there to the south on the west side of Canterbury Place. These are the 2 of the duplexes anyway, or 2 of the duplex buildings, 4 duplexes that exist across the street. And then this is looking toward Walgreens. and back toward Canterbury. And this tree is hiding it, but the other duplex is right there. Here on the north side of 39th Street. So. And there's another view of one of the duplexes. And here's a view of the vacant lot and the parking lot beyond that tree to the left. These are the two units on the end, or the two buildings on the end, right here. And another view of the structures across the street, the single family home that's north of the R12 area to the east. And that concludes our presentation. Staff recommends approval of this rezoning request.
Thank you. Commissioners, do you have any questions of city staff or a motion?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
and just expediting this, there's little need for discussion. So I will move for case number 21-100-09, the rezoning at South Canterbury Place from commercial C1 neighborhood to R12 two-family residential be approved as presented.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I second.
Who was that?
Commissioner Michelle?
Oh, okay.
Okay. Roll, please.
Commissioner Dreer. Oh, he's not here. I'm sorry. I noticed there's a 13th person. Is that person Ferguson, or is that the applicant for the other case?
This is Stephen McBee from McBee's Coffee and Car Wash. My
Okay,
apologies.
so we didn't get Ferguson back. Okay.
And this is
Commissioner Wiley.
Galina as well from McBee.
Okay, good. Commissioner Wiley,
Yes.
Commissioner Michelle,
Yes.
Commissioner Young,
Yes.
Commissioner Preston,
Yes.
Chairman McLean.
Yes. Case 21-100-09, rezoning of South Canterbury Place has been approved. Thank you. It's good to clean up something. These messy zonings we have. Okay, so we're gonna go back to the first case for the car wash. So first, I'm going to swear you in. So for those of you who wish to speak tonight, will you please raise your right hand? And if I could see a video or at least audio. Do you solemnly swear to tell the whole truth before this commission? If so, please answer, I do.
I do.
Thank you.
I do.
Thank you. Okay, staff, will you give us a report?
Did I miss what you said?
No, will you give us a report on case number 21-200-03, 15912 East US 24 Highway?
Okay, sure. So we're looking here at the vicinity map, the area of a former motel, Western Motel, right across from the new Quick Trip, between the outer road of 291 at 24 Highway, just northeast of Allen Road. So there we go. So The existing zoning was C2, general commercial. So a proposed car wash use would fit with that rezoning. However, car washes, of course, require a special use permit. So that's why our applicant is here. And you can see the comprehensive plan envisions this area to continue as being a node of commercial use around the intersection of US 24 highway and M291. And so here's an overview showing the previous building that's now been removed, and the vastness of the site in question. So the applicant intends to construct a high-end tunnel car wash at 321, I'm sorry, on a 3-acre tract to be known as McBee's Coffee and Car Wash, and formerly the site of the old Western Motel. The
Brian,
5,000. Yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I understand Commissioner Young is going to need to leave sooner rather than later. And in order to make sure that we have a quorum, I do need to make sure that Virginia is here. So Virginia, if you are, I'm seeing your initials. If you're here, can you unmute yourself so we know that you're here?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Great.
I can hear you, but I can't see anything. I can't get back on.
Okay, that's great. I just needed to make sure you were here so we could continue.
I'm here and I can hear everything that's gone on.
Okay, perfect. Commissioner Young, whenever you need to leave, you're good to go then.
Okay, thank you so much, and sorry about that. Thanks.
No, that's fine.
Okay, so the 5,619 square foot, 100 foot long building will have a northeast to southwest orientation. Customers forming the queues will go through the tunnel, entering from US 24 at the southwest side of the building, passing through to the northeast and then around the east side and the southeast side. They will wait into two lines to pay for a wash and car wash at the northeast corner of the building, making a turn at the north side of the tunnel. Exiting from the south, the customers will move on to the parking area to the west or to the vacuums that are located to the south. The applicant intends to operate the car wash from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. in the summer, but close early in the winter, 8 o'clock. The applicant also says there will be a manager on site during operations at all times, or when it's operating. When a site plan application or a building permit are submitted for this project, more detailed civil and landscaping plans, of course, will be needed. The site plan will need to indicate the location of the proposed on-site stormwater detention, and it's important that it be located outside the area that had been filled for the septic tank that was used previously by the motel. Customers vacuuming or visiting the office will have 20 vacuum spaces in which to park, with one van accessible handicap space. 6 spaces, 1 handicap will be provided for employees. Landscaping plan must include plantings, buffers, and green spaces as required by the UDO. Lastly, the applicant has provided elevations and artist renderings for the building envisioned. The proposed building essentially will have similar masonry materials and colors as the recently approved location on 23rd Street. So, go through some more of these drawings. So you can see the setup here and how you will enter in wrap around the southeast, queue up on the east side, and then payment and beverage will be obtained here at the northeast corner. And you would go through the tunnel to the south and either go to the vacuums here area to the northwest or exit south onto 24 highway. So here's a rendering or an image anyway of the store. These are drawings, as you can see, from the 23rd Street car wash tunnel location. And so similar to these is what would be envisioned to be installed. And there's the vacuum bays as envisioned on 23rd Street. And then here is a drawing. So real quickly, we'll go through the site. This is on the site here, looking deeper into the site to the northwest. This is standing at the driveway, looking back toward the Susquehanna area, back toward 291, up 24 highway. This is the outer road and the existing fence that's located there that will be removed. Actually, it's been purchased by someone and it will be relocated. This is the Quick Trip located directly across the street from the driveway, which will remain in the same location. And you can see the existing hydrant there that's there as well. There's the Yum Station, unoccupied restaurant located directly to the west, down 24 highway. And here's another view of that with the existing fence, and it will of course need to be repaired with additional fencing that will be required along the residential portions of the property and the associated plantings with that. You can see what fence is there now and what additional fence would obviously be needed going back toward the wooded area there. This is looking directly deep into the northern part of the property. And you can see the vet clinic and the other uses located adjacent to the northeast. And this more area at the back end, again, more of the same. And then looking back toward the outer road to the northeast. Staff recommends approval of this case with the following conditions. Number one, with the final site plan, include a graphic of the noise levels for all mechanized systems and vacuums. Number two, with the final site plan, a revised landscaping plan showing screening and plantings and buffering of all 5 residential properties, and show trees abutting all rights of way as required in the UDO. 3, with the building permit, include a report from the Missouri Department of Natural Resources to determine how the sewage lagoon was closed and indicate on the final site plan and the engineering plans the site for the stormwater detention basin, ensuring that it's not at the location of the former sewage lagoon. And number 4, The final site elevation should include elevations for the proposed masonry trash enclosure matching the materials and colors of the building. And we'd like to add a number 5 that was not on this the staff report that was sent out to you. With the final site plan, provide a traffic study of the traffic situation with this use. And that concludes my staff report, and I'm ready to take any questions you may have.
Okay. Commissioners, do you have any questions of Brian before we bring the applicant forward?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I confess my delight at the possibility of this project, as I've had extensive discussions with several of the councilmen. And yet I'm a bit taken that in the staff's presentation, the rendering used was of another site. I'm just absolutely a bit taken back at a project like this, and it's coming before this commission. In my humble assessment, not prepared. Why would we be discussing this case and having to use drawings from a 23rd Street location? I yield back to Madam Chair.
Brian?
Well, the intention is that it would be essentially the same building. And so I guess we could have the applicant elaborate on this momentarily.
But why don't we have a presentation that it speaks to this site as opposed to borrowing of presentations from 23rd Street? Why are we discussing this case at this point?
Well, I think we probably should let the applicant give him a chance to explain that.
I don't think that's, Madam Chair, I don't think that's an applicant question to be answered. I think that's a staff question. I confess, I've not seen this before.
And another thing to keep in mind, I mean, he still has yet to submit the site plan, which we'll be requiring to submit a site plan. So, I mean, the purpose of tonight's meeting is to cover the special use allowance for this usage at this location. And we can get specifics of design with that.
Jordan?
Yeah, if I can help clarify, the special use, all that is required is the site plan that was shown in the presentation, not separate elevations, as Brian was indicating. You may recall when we did, I think, the 23rd Street approval for this, they provided images from Liberty, if I'm not mistaken, of another project as far as, pictures and elevation. So you need to focus your attention and approval on the site plan and not the pictures of another site for the purposes of the special use permit.
Yeah, I think
So that's the difference in this presentation, that we're talking about a special use permit versus what was being presented at other locations.
Yes,
You were also looking at a special use permit last time. So that's correct. You're looking at the use and the current layout of the site plan that was shown in that presentation, not necessarily the elevations as shown in that picture.
I appreciate that clarification. Thank you.
Good question. Anyone else have questions of Brian?
I have a question, Madam Chair.
Mm-hmm.
Two questions, actually. Just to kind of put a bow on Commissioner Preston's comments, moving forward and to avoid confusion, should the packages submitted only include the relevant required information? Would that help you, Commissioner Preston? And for others on your behalf answering.
I appreciate that, Commissioner Michelle, and I think that would clarify.
My second question then, and this could be a question for the applicant, is more of a design related question. And I would ask city staff, this is a site plan question. Would this question best be directed to you at this time, or should we wait for the applicant portion?
You say it's a site plan question? I mean,
It's a design question, yes.
Is it something that would be better answered by the applicant? I mean, I could give the staff input, and then you could also ask the applicant as well.
Okay. My question relates, and I do recall the 23rd Street location. In fact, I believe it was 1 year ago, and it was my first meeting that I was listening to that case. I do remember, and the difficulties on this site as I see it, and I understand the curb cut and the approach location from 24 Highway into the site is probably located at a distance that is mandated from the other curb cuts, property lines, etc., to the southwest and to the outer road entrance to the northeast. But that location and then relative to the exit of the tunnel does give me a little bit of pause, because as cars are coming out of the tunnel, making if you orientate yourself as if you're in the car, making a right-hand turn and heading southwest, and then having to make essentially a U-turn around that island extension to get back out towards the exit onto 24 Highway. Again, reiterating, a right turn, a left turn, and then a right turn to get perpendicular to US 24. That seems a bit awkward. I do understand that you're trying to limit traffic from coming in and taking a miss turn and going into the parking lot. You're only making that one-way traffic heading southeast. But that seems like a pretty tricky turn to me, to essentially have to make a U-turn around that island to get back out. And I don't know if there could be a better solution, maybe a wider turn. I think it would require some extension of the pavement to the southeast, maybe cutting back that curb, maybe not to a full 2-car width driveway, maybe doing some paving striping or something. It just seems like we're probably going to be running into some issues of cars taking their wheels over that curb at some point. And that's all I have from a design standpoint.
So the traffic study will help with that, correct?
I think the traffic study will handle mostly the impact of vehicle counts and frequencies and times of day coming onto and off of the site, not as much an issue of design within the site and traffic movement and sort of the awkwardness of this turn.
I can see where you're saying that island is sticking out a little too much, because it's blocking both those. I realize I was looking there by the street and realizing those arrows are reversed as to what they should be.
They are.
But I think if you make sure you block, the northwest incoming traffic is more important than making it difficult for that southeast traffic to get to the out lane. So I could see where you could shorten that up.
Yeah, and again, I'm not professing to be a civil engineer. It just to me feels like an awkward turn, but I understand the reasoning behind why it should extend some to make sure it's directing cars in the right direction. Maybe there's a happy compromise somewhere in here.
I think, go ahead. I think
did
what
Ryan go ahead and, oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I think what we should do is go ahead and have the applicant come on and speak to the project, to the special use permit, and then we can ask him any other questions that we have. And then I think the question at hand is, you know, is this ready to be considered as a special use, or do we need more time? But anyway, if the applicant will please go ahead and come forward and let us know whatever you would like us to know.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I agree with you wholeheartedly. Looking at that that island that sticks out, I think what we could do is cut that back about to where you see that line come through the middle of the island, and that would help ease that turn so you're not going 90-degree right on top of a 90-degree left right on top of it. And then we'll have very good directional signage in the lot itself, so that way we don't have incoming traffic go into the vac area by mistake. I think we can do a good job with directional signage to keep them from doing that.
Okay. Just for the record, Mr. McBee, could you state your name and home address?
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you,
Yes.
Commissioner.
My name is Stephen McBee. My address is 1400 North Bill Johnson Road, Independence, Missouri, 64056.
Thank you. Okay. And again, I understand we are just reviewing the special use permit, but I would be remiss if I did not give you this comment now and have an opportunity for it to be taken care of in the site plan, final site plan submittal.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll get that changed. I agree wholeheartedly with that, possibly causing some issues there.
Commissioners, do you have any questions?
Off topic, when can I expect to get a cup of coffee on 23rd Street?
Right now, we've had dozers and tractors over there nonstop, so it's looking like January, I would say.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely.
All right, commissioners, is there anybody to speak to this? Is there anyone to speak against it? Hearing neither. Commissioners, do you have any more questions of the applicant or the city before I close this public hearing? Okay, the public hearing portion is now closed. Commissioners, comments, concerns, thoughts?
Commissioner Michelle echoed me, and now I'm going to echo Commissioner Michelle. And again, we're excited about this project. We just want to fulfill our duty and not abdicate our responsibility as a commission. And I'm waiting for staff to just make me comfortable with where we are with this process. So I suppose inside of this discussion period, still trying to get to that point of being comfortable moving forward.
Yeah, that's my question also, is to Commissioner Michelle's point. I mean, maybe for future, maybe if it's just a special use permit, maybe we do not need to confuse us by bringing in renderings and that sort of thing. But I guess the second part to that question is, are we ready? Do we have enough to go ahead and consider this special use, or do we feel like we need more information?
Madam Chair, I'm wondering what that more would be.
Right.
And maybe staff can enlighten us.
Yeah, I think that's really the question to the staff is, do we need more, or is this enough to consider a special use?
I guess the question you have to ask yourself, do you have the information you need for what this use entails? And I guess your purpose is to consider the use's location, and if that's appropriate and whether the layout, I guess, will work in the neighborhood of this particular use. I mean, that's why we have the site plan.
Okay, so commissioners, maybe what we need to do is to narrow our view and just look at it. Is the location suitable for this special use? Does this look like part of the Independence plan? Does it fit with it? I think those are the things we need to consider to move forward and get a motion.
The question, I think we all embrace this project. That is without question. The question becomes, who will review the traffic study? Who will review the site plan to ensure that the site plan itself lays out the best possibilities for this operation? Who does that for the city at this point? We let's say we approve it, and where is the next step of oversight? That will remain with staff, or will it come back to this commission, or are we done with it at this point?
You would be completed with it. We'd be looking to make sure what they're providing is in line with the UDO and meets our landscaping and buffer requirements and proper screening from the neighboring uses and buffering from those, and that the building appropriately follows our design requirements as stated in the codes.
So to clarify, there is no final development plan that we will see that will have the updated site plan and the accurate elevations to this project.
The final development plan is an administrative process that staff will review.
So Commissioner Preston, we looked at this previous project on 23rd Street. I believe we were all satisfied with the aesthetic. And so I'm not necessarily myself concerned with having to review that again. I would maybe ask staff if we need to make a stipulation about, you know, anything regarding the design issue that I raised, if that's something that should be documented for posterity so that is something that is looked at by the applicant, by city staff moving forward.
Can we include that as a recommendation?
Yeah, you can write additional recommendations that you deem appropriate, yes.
It appears that staff has that prerogative already of oversight and approval before the final issuance of a licensing process to operate. Am I correct there, Brian?
Yes.
Then with that said, I'm comfortable going forward. And therefore, if no other commissioner have a comment, I'll make a motion.
Commissioner Preston, can I ask a question real quick?
Sure.
Commissioner Michelle, would you be comfortable? Do you want to put another recommendation in there before we get a motion about the entry?
I would recommend that additional investigation of the site design for vehicle egress from the site be investigated by the applicant.
Are you writing this down, Brian?
Due to the current site plan appearing to be complicated and awkward to exit the site.
It's recorded on video, so I can rewind it and watch it again tomorrow. So
Perfect. All right.
Wordsmith it as you deem fit.
So I think both Commissioner Michelle and the rest of us are a bit concerned what the outcome of that traffic study will yield and what modifications will be made in light of what may be forthcoming in that study. But with that said, Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion.
Thank you.
In the matter of case number 21-200-0-1 20-2403 at 15912 East US 24 Highway. I move that we approve the special use permit for the tunnel car wash and coffee shop.
Is there a second?
I second.
Thank you, Heather.
To clarify, that approval is with
With recommend,
With the
With-
stipulations as
Okay.
cited and recommended by staff.
thank you.
Thank you.
roll call, please.
Commissioner Ferguson,
Yes.
Commissioner Wiley,
Yes.
Commissioner Michelle,
Yes.
Commissioner Preston,
Yes.
and Chairman McLean.
Yes. Case number 21-200-03 at 15912 East US 24 Highway has been approved. Thank you, and best of luck.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank
More
you.
nice coffee.
That's right.
All right. Next up, if I can find my, I did forget to, we are continuing case number 21-100-08 and case number 21-12502 to the July 27th meeting. Do I need a motion for that?
It's probably a good idea just to do it formally.
Okay, can I get a motion to approve that, both of those cases to be continued? Do I need to do one at a time?
So moved, Madam Chair.
Second.
Can I get a second? All right, roll call, please.
Commissioner Dreer.
Not here.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Commissioner Ferguson, which is not, are you there?
She's muted.
No, somebody muted me then.
Virginia, do you say yes?
Yes.
Commissioner Wiley,
Yes.
Commissioner Michelle,
Yes.
Commissioner Preston,
Yes.
Chairman McLean.
Yes. Cases number 21-100-08 rezoning and case number 21-12502 rezoning will be continued to July 27th. Okay, last one, case number 21-175-06 UDO amendment number 50 administrative adjustment appeals. City, will you give us a report, please?
I guess I'm going to give Brian a bit of a break here. So thank you, Madam Chair and members of the commission. My name is Rick Arroyo. I'm the Assistant Community Development Director here at the city. What we have before you today is a amendment to our UDO in regards to our administrative adjustment appeals process. And this is section 14-506 of the UDO. It's called a non-residential design standard. This is actually part of the development code. In there is a clause that allows an applicant, and this is for non-residential. So this is for typically commercial type developments. There's a clause in there that allows an applicant to apply for a modification to those design standards. And in that process, the community development director can make certain modifications. And if that request is either denied or if what the director comes back with isn't, the applicant isn't happy with that, they can actually have an appeals process. Currently, that appeals process goes to the Board of Zoning and Adjustment. The issue that the staff has with that particular code as it is right now is that those non-residential design standards include things like facade materials, roof forms, parapet heights, building horizontal and vertical wall architecture, and projections, some of the building entrance features such as canopies, overhangs, arches, window displays, parts of the parking lots. So for example, the parking lot requirements, space requirements can be adjusted, as well as some site plan issues that can be changed with the landscaping plan. So under 14-706-01, there is a procedure that the director will look at. Typically, it allows him to make adjustments, him or her adjustments at within 10% of what's required by city code. However, we believe as staff, the reason for this particular amendment is that all those particular things that can be adjusted, and very critically, for example, like the facade coverage of a building along a major route or thoroughfare, that's the four-sided architectural component of our code. Those changes or those adjustments have a direct impact on either that neighborhood, it has a direct impact on the economic development of that area, has a direct impact on any existing commercial development or maybe a strip mall or commercial site. And those are all the actual things that we bring before this commission when you guys are looking at a development plan or a PUD or some kind of new commercial development as it comes in. And we feel that it is best suited for those types of things to come before this commission as opposed to the Board of Zoning and Adjustment. And so for those reasons, we have included this amendment, which basically amends section 14-706-01J, that basically says anything that is appealed by the community development director of the non-residential design standards come before this commission as opposed to the Board of Zoning and Adjustment. So with that, I will answer to the best of my abilities any questions you may have.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions for the city? It sounds more efficient. Yes.
That was a superb presentation, and I can concur fully. I think it was thoughtfully done, and certainly this planning commission can and would fulfill its obligation. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Michelle?
No questions, no comments. Agreed.
I would add that it's up to us as commissioners to keep up on the ordinances and to educate ourselves so that we are knowledgeable about these things that come up before us.
I agree.
Madam Chair, in that regard, I know we have existed in this pandemic world now for more than 18 months, and training has been suspended, I suppose, because it's been probably almost 2 years or more since there was a formal training session.
Yeah, it's probably been more like 3.
Really? Yeah.
It feels like it's been a while. I agree, Heather, 100%. I need to hold myself more accountable too, to do more homework. I think it is important. And especially as we're tasked with these things, which this feels right. It feels more efficient. So.
It has that public accountability element and open air, open and sunshine.
Yeah, much more transparent. I would entertain a motion if we don't have any other discussion.
Madam Chair.
Nope.
Oh, I yield to Commissioner Michelle.
Madam Chair, in the case of 21-175-06 UDO Amendment number 50, Administrative Adjustment Appeals, I move for approval.
Is there a second?
I second.
Heather. Thank you. All right, City, will you do roll call, please?
Yes. Commissioner Ferguson,
Yes.
Commissioner Wiley,
Yes.
Commissioner Michelle,
Yes.
Commissioner Preston,
Yes.
Chairman McLean.
Yes. Case number that I just laid down. Case number request 21-175-06, UDO amend number 50, Administrative Adjustment Appeals has been passed. Thank you. We did some house cleaning tonight. That was good. Okay, we have election of officers tonight. So we will proceed, and I have to admit, I am not 100% sure how to do this part, so.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
in as much as you have opened this portion of the meeting, and what an incredible opportunity to applaud the leadership of the chair through the period of this pandemic. And it has become a commission just filled with efficiency, accountability, and I think the highest mark that we can do is to applaud by nominating Madam Chair to continue in the role in that regard. I make that nomination, and I make a motion to close the nomination process
I second.
for chair.
Now what? Bill is co-chair. Do you take over this part?
Call the roll, Madam Chair.
City, call the roll, please.
Okay. Commissioner Ferguson,
Yes. Yes.
okay. Commissioner Wiley,
Yes.
And yes.
Commissioner Michelle,
Yes.
Commissioner Preston.
Yes and yes.
I guess Chairman McLean can vote for herself.
No, I never did it in high school. I'm not doing it now.
Okay.
Did we allow?
I think we, I
Did we
think
allow
stand-
Chair? Did we allow Chair McLean to accept the nomination?
No, we didn't.
Are you agreeable?
I am agreeable. Thank you. Thank you for the kind words. It has been a lot of fun and an honor, I have to say. I'm not perfect for sure, but
Madam Chair,
yes.
I would like to nominate Commissioner Bill Preston for Vice Chair.
There's been a nomination for Vice Chair of Bill Preston to continue.
I second.
We have a second. And City, will you do roll call?
So second is by Michelle.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. Okay, Commissioner Ferguson,
Yes.
Commissioner Wiley,
Yes.
Commissioner Michelle,
Yes.
Commissioner Preston, I guess. You didn't
consistent with the chair.
Not
I
voting.
was sitting down and casting that vote, but also
You didn't vote for
consistent.
yourself in
with
high
that,
school either?
I'm honored to continue to assist the chair in all ways possible.
So, and Chairman McLean.
Yes.
Okay.
The nominations are closed. This chair is Cindy McLean and the vice chair is Bill Preston. Well, thank you. Thank you, Bill. It's nice to have Bill in the side chair because he checks me all the time. And that is a good thing. I must be checked all the time.
It's a good partnership.
All right. Approval of the minutes. I'll give everybody a chance to look over them real quick.
I found them in good order, Madam Chair.
I know not one typo at all.
Agreed.
Agreed.
Well done. All right, all those who approve of the minutes say aye.
I,
Thank you. The minutes have been approved. Staff, do you have anything for us for the greater good?
The only comment I think we have tonight is that Miranda will be out of the office, I think around preparation for next meeting. So you may be receiving some information from Jill Dodson. So just be on the lookout for emails to come from a different staff person for next week's or next meeting on the 27th.
Okay, I'm going to interrupt you or take back my handing it to you because we need to discuss whether we would like to go back in person in August. That's something we can discuss. I think that we should take a vote on it, just so that we can, again, be transparent and have that discussion out loud. So, any discussion before we just before we vote on it?
I'm fine going back. I will probably continue to wear a mask, but I'm ready to go back.
I'm fine to go back and have been, full disclosure, fully vaccinated and been living without a mask in public. So I'm fine to come back.
I'm very much in favor of it, and yet, as a matter of logistics, I will request an accommodation of this commission that we would perhaps go back in the second meeting of August.
Okay. Would everybody be okay? Would everybody be agreeable to that? The second meeting in August. I don't know what that date is exactly, but
Virginia, you've been quiet. Do you have any concerns?
can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, only concern that I have is what the mayor has said recently about opening up everything.
I didn't hear the mayor's comments, Fergie. So would you share those comments with us?
Well, she's saying to wear masks, even if you've been vaccinated and you go into any place, you should wear a mask all the time.
so the
These
new
are-
suggested mandate is with the increase of cases rising here, that people wear their mask, vaccinated or unvaccinated, in public spaces.
Right, that's what she said.
I mean, Virginia, I'm vaccinated, but I don't go anywhere without my mask. So I'm still wearing a mask in public.
I go nowhere without my mask.
I
why
will happily wear a mask for planning commission meetings, and as long as the mayor's orders are such, I think we should do that.
Amen.
We will expect an architectural like mask from you.
I've got a branded one. I can
Bet. Let's do
I
this.
do-
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think for the record, I believe that council chamber still has barricades up between the members. So there is still some protection that way too. So just if that adds some assurance to anybody.
It does.
Yeah, I think that's good. So let's go ahead and take a vote. And then, even if we vote yes, barring another huge outbreak, which will be a whole different decision, we can make that decision later. So let's take a vote to be back in person by the second meeting in August.
Which is the 24th, just for the record.
Okay,
And-
thank you.
And with whatever recommendations from our city government as far as masks or other personal protection.
Yes.
All those in favor?
Throw
Say
your
aye
hand
or
up, Virginia.
Virginia, you have your hand up?
I say yes, yes, yes.
All right. Do we need to do actual roll call, Jordan, or is that sufficient?
No, that's sufficient.
Okay. All right. Well, back in person in 3-ish weeks, 4-ish weeks.
I have one request of city staff, and I know that you're not responsible for the mechanics of this, but the chair
It
and vice
appears that
chair.
our chair,
What's that? I was saying that the chair and vice chair are not receiving their due recognition on the city's website for the planning commission. Madam Chair is still listed as vice chair, and Commissioner Preston is receiving no recognition whatsoever. So could you please speak with the powers that be and make those adjustments?
We will see what we can do. Yes.
All right.
Yeah, it was just a pandemic. Come on.
it would be perfectly fine for me to remain in obscurity, but we certainly want to recognize Madam Chair.
We certainly want to recognize Preston. Oh my goodness, this group. Okay, anything else? Does anybody have anything you want everybody to know or?
Good.
Okay. All right. We are
Sounds
closing.
good.
We are ending this meeting at 7:09 p.m. Thank you, everybody. And hopefully Bryce is
Thank you, Madam
enjoying.
Chair and staff and commissioners.
Thank you all.